The Galactic Council chamber hummed with the usual condescension reserved for humanity's representatives. David stood at the center of the crystalline floor, surrounded by delegates from 100 worlds, each more ancient and evolved than his own species. Beside him, Penelope adjusted her diplomatic uniform, her jaw tight with barely contained frustration. The human petition is amusing. Ambassador Velthar wheezed through his breathing apparatus. The Corinthian's 12 eyes blinked in sequence, a gesture his species used to signal mockery. You wish to lead the defense against the Ravager fleet? Your people have been spacefaring for barely 2 centuries. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the assembly. The Kavesh representative, a floating mass of luminescent gas, pulsed with colors that translated to laughter. Humans are emotional, unstable. We've studied your species extensively. You lack the discipline required for strategic warfare. David's fists clenched at his sides, but his voice remained steady. With respect, Ambassador, we've proven ourselves in every conflict we've faced. The Battle of Proxima, a minor skirmish, Velthar interrupted, his translator chip dripping with disdain. Against pirates, the Ravagers have consumed 17 civilizations in the past decade. They require a certain ruthlessness, a coldness, qualities your species demonstrably lacks. Penelope stepped forward, her diplomatic training evident in every measured word. Our record speaks for itself. Human forces have consistently been adequate, the Kavesh interjected. Nothing more. The Council has made its decision. The Zerthok Imperium will lead the defensive fleet. You may contribute support vessels. David felt something crack inside him, not break, but shift. He'd spent 3 years on this station, smiling through insults, swallowing his pride, playing by their rules. 3 years of watching these ancient species treat humanity like children playing at civilization. 3 years of Penelope pulling him aside, reminding him that diplomacy required patience. He was done being patient. You think we're weak because we feel, David said quietly. Too quietly. The chamber's acoustics carried his words anyway. Because we mourn our dead. Because we celebrate our victories. Because we love fiercely and grieve deeply. Velthar's eyes swiveled toward him. Emotional instability is not a virtue. Human, no, David agreed. And something in his tone made Penelope tense beside him. It's not instability. It's fuel. He pulled up his wrist display, projecting images into the center of the chamber. Earth. Not the sanitized diplomatic version, the real Earth. Cities burning during the water wars. The crater where New Mumbai once stood. The memorial walls stretching for kilometers, each panel bearing 1,000,000 names. You want to know why you should let humans lead this fight? David's voice rose, not in volume but in intensity. Because we've fought ourselves. Because we've stared into the abyss of our own extinction and chose to survive. Not because we were cold. Not because we were logical. Because we were angry. Anger is the enemy of strategy. The KVESH pulsed dismissively. Anger is our strategy. David roared, and the chamber fell silent. Even the omnipresent hum of the station's systems seemed to pause. You've forgotten what it means to fight for survival because you've had peace for millennia. You've evolved beyond rage, beyond desperation, beyond the raw, burning need to live. He advanced toward Velthar's platform, and for the first time in recorded history, a Corinthian ambassador retreated. The Ravagers don't negotiate. They don't follow your protocols. They're primal. They're hungry. And you want to fight them with committee meetings and tactical simulations? Penelope touched his arm, not to stop him but to steady him. She'd seen this before David at his most dangerous, when his humanity wasn't a weakness but a weapon. We've faced extinction 6 times in our short history, David continued, his voice carrying to every corner of the vast chamber. Plagues, nuclear war, environmental collapse, artificial intelligence gone rogue, asteroid impact, and a hostile first contact with the Viridian Collective that killed 3 billion of us. In the first hour, the projections shifted, showing humanity's scars, but also their triumphs. Rebuilt cities, terraformed wastelands, memorials transformed into gardens. Each time, we survived. Not because we suppressed our emotions, because we weaponized them. Our fear made us desperate. Our grief made us determined. And our rage, he paused, letting the word echo, our rage made us unstoppable. Velthar's breathing apparatus hissed. "You're proving our point. You're uncontrolled, we're focused." David slammed his hand on the display controls, and new images appeared. Battle simulations, human tactical innovations, weapons systems that made even the jaded council members lean forward. When the Ravagers come, and they're coming faster than your intelligence predicts. They'll expect civilized warfare, measured responses, proportional retaliation. His smile was terrible to behold. "We'll give them something else entirely. We'll give them humanity." Penelope stepped beside him, her voice cool and professional. The perfect counterpoint to his fire. What my colleague is articulating, perhaps inelegantly, is that humanity offers something unique to this defense, adaptability born of desperation. We don't just think outside the box. We've never seen the box, because every time someone built one, David added. His rage now channeled into cold determination. We tore it apart to build weapons. The chamber remained silent. Finally, the eldest member of the council, a being so ancient its species name had been forgotten, spoke in a voice like grinding stone. "You would burn worlds to save your own?" "Yes," David answered without hesitation. "And then we'd weep for every life lost. We'd build memorials. We'd remember their names. But we would survive. And so would you." Penelope pulled up final projections, deployment plans, resource allocations, tactical frameworks that combined human aggression with alien technology. "The question isn't whether humanity is emotional," she said. "It's whether you can afford to face the Ravagers without emotions." Velthar was silent for a long moment. Then his translator crackled. "The council will reconsider." As they left the chamber, Penelope allowed herself a small smile. "You know, you nearly started a diplomatic incident back there." David's hands were shaking now, the adrenaline fading. "They needed to see us, really see us, not the diplomatic masks we wear. They saw you," she confirmed. "A human, angry and unbroken. Exactly what we need them to understand." 2 weeks later, the council voted. Humanity would lead the defense fleet, not despite their rage, because of it. When the Ravagers came, they found an enemy they'd never encountered before, a species that fought not just with weapons and tactics, but with the accumulated fury of every near extinction, every loss, every reason to survive. They thought humans were weak. The burning wreckage of their fleet proved them wrong.